Uh,
Oh, look at that.
yeah.
At least you asked my permission.
Welcome. So this is the second Battle Weapons chat with producers or artists who have put out songs on Battle Weapons. I'm joined with Mr. Doris. So firstly, can you introduce yourself to us?
Hello. My name is Christian Doros, otherwise known as Mr. Doris. I am first and foremost a DJ, also producer, also curate a lot of events, program venues, basically lots of different facets within the music industry.
Good stuff. Okay, and so how did the track you did for Battle Weapons, how did that come about?
Well, it was first. Doug and I, Defunk and I, we've been working together in the studio for many years, and I think he's definitely the engineer when it comes to anything that's done in the studio, and I generally come up with the ideas, not all the time, but a lot of the time.
Right.
He might argue that point. Um, but no, generally, yeah. And I just, I, it was, I've always been firstly, the first things that like got me into DJing and was like sample based tracks, really, a lot of like hip hop, etc. And so I've always had an ear out, always still do have an ear out to things like, oh, I'd like to do that, like to sample that, use that, and yeah. So and I think we used a Rakim on one of on the
Yeah.
Battle Weapons track,
Yeah.
and I've always loved his voice. I've done quite a few booties, and a lot of the time I try to use his voice. It's for me still one of the greatest. Um, and yeah, so just it's one of those things. Just playing around in the studio, saying to Doug, "Look, we've got this. Let's loop this up." And then you, I think I sent it to you, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Good stuff. Okay, so this goes just to you now rather than you and D-Funk, because he's given me his answers. So can you think of the first sort of mashup or sample-based track that sort of that either came to your ears or that you realized was a big sample?
Um, Calls coming in. Should have turned me notifications off. Um, the, I, I think the first memory of like realizing that something was sampled was probably when I was like 13, 14 years old, I reckon. Like listening to Jungle, I think it was. Yeah, because a friend of mine was very into the illegal rave circuit. My friend and Andrew Ricks,
Right.
and he was always playing me these jungle tracks. He's like, wow, what is this? And then like it was like MB, MB.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did
Okay.
a track called Sweet Love. And I just remember like thinking, I know what this is. I swear I know what this is.
So that's the
Uh,
Anita Baker song, isn't it? Jungled Up.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just remember just like, wow, okay, they've made something completely different out of this. And yeah, just I think that was the first memory. And then obviously like I remember listening to like Groove Armada's album is the track At the River, I think it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, what is it like? First, like thinking, like, is this original? And like, lo and behold, it wasn't. And yeah, just realizing, wow, people can actually like, make something completely new out of something older.
So
And
I think the Groove Armada track, I remember the story. They was in a studio out in the sticks, so they kept away from like big cities. They wanted to go away and do this album,
yeah,
and they just weren't something wasn't working. They were just needing to have a break. One of them goes for a break to the local shop, and it sells CDs, and that track was on the CD. So they bought a CD of like 50s crooners or something from the
yeah,
local like deli or whatever it was, and
yeah,
they
yeah.
found that sample. So you just think if they'd never been in that studio,
No, totally.
never needed that break, they never would have got the sample for it. Okay, good stuff. So and is there a time when you've heard a sample and you've either thought, I wish I'd found that, or you had the sample, but somebody else used it before you? Have you had that come up?
Wow. I mean, there's just so many. There's so many. Like ridiculous. Like I can't even like this. A lot of the Fat Boy Slim stuff. It's just like wow. Just like what? I don't know. Like I'll be honest with you. Like I mean, the way I think of things is like all music. Really, like there's always a case of like thinking, oh, I wish I'd done that, but the fact is you hadn't done that. They
Yeah,
did that, and it's kind of a bit of a lost cause thinking like that. Um, there's been many moments, multiple moments. I mean, like fucking all the Gangstar stuff, like all of DJ Premier's whole back catalogue of stuff is just, you're just like what, like how. Uh, so I don't know, like yes, I mean, I mean, I remember having like there's even like the newer mashup stuff that when it all came about again, like your Mookie, like Super Cat Police, like
yeah,
tracks like that.
yeah.
That just popped in my head there.
Right.
You never think that these two things go together.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know, like yes, I mean, like as I said, like this bit, like I listen to music on like, and there's pretty much every day I will hear something like I'll go, oh wow, well, I wish I
right.
thought of that.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and like I think my musical breadth, like I'm not particularly known. It's it's kind of like a blessing and a curse at the same time. I'm not particularly known for any kind of style of music. I mean, some people know me more for my house stylings and DJing in the big clubs on Ibiza, and but then I also do the mashup, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
boots on 45 vinyl. So there's very much. So I think like that I'd like to think that like at least shows how much music I listen to and how
Right.
much music I play. But that is again a blessing and a curse because I'm constantly like this, just a plethora of music I try and get through on a weekly basis. And in doing so, I'm like constantly like, wow, like what is this? I wish I thought of this.
Yeah.
Um, but again, like I, I'm I'm very much I don't really particularly like think I wish I thought of this. It's kind of I take inspiration from it more
Right.
than
Okay.
anything. You
Okay.
know?
Okay. Okay. And which, over the years, big or small, which producer do you think has had the biggest influence on you?
Ooh. Ooh. Whoa. Again, that goes back to I listened so much, and I mean, I reckon really people like Masters at Work,
Right. Okay.
and again because there's like a meeting of minds there with Little Louis and Kenny Dope, and what they've done, their back catalogue is thousands,
Yeah.
when like thousands of tracks, and they span everything from house to hip hop to their New Yorican soul stuff, which is like like live soul music. Um, so yeah, I think anything like that. I think like those guys, yeah, I strive to attempt to be like them,
Right.
um, both musically and their outlook on music.
Right.
I think is like very much like I don't believe in musical boundaries. and I think they're very much of that ethos as well.
Okay, good. And labels wise, record labels, favorites either right now or even historically. Um, what are you sort of, it's difficult, I know, when there's so many to name one.
Yes, it's
So
like it's more.
even name one that's recent that's come onto
Well, yeah,
your
no,
radar.
no. There's a popped in my head. There's a label called Space Grapes. I
Right.
don't know if you heard of them.
No, I don't know them.
If you haven't, they're fantastic. I advise you and everyone, or the few people watching this, to everyone though, everyone to check them out. They're a great label. I think they're French based. I'm not 100% sure, but I
Right.
think they might be Parisian, and they're they're very much a new funk disco ish with a big emphasis on live
Okay.
music that they not exclusively vinyl, but certainly a lot of it is put out on vinyl.
Right.
And
Okay.
I will listen to. I don't necessarily buy everything that they put out, but I will listen to everything that they put out.
Right.
And
And that's
then, yeah, I very much advise anyone who hasn't heard of Space Grapes, check them out. And then historically, it's got to be True Thoughts.
okay. Yeah,
Um,
wicked.
yeah, I just absolutely like. Yeah, they're definitely their earlier stuff. I think they've actually come back. They went in bit too electronic-y for me, um, but then they've actually come back around in recent times, gone a bit more organic to how they were and funk sounding, how they were originally.
Right.
But yeah, them there. I yeah, I wouldn't. To an effect, the effect that that label had on me as a young DJ producer was astronomical. Like, yeah, Alice Russell, Quantic, TM Duke, fucking list is endless. Yeah, and they're still independent, still. Yeah, it's a label that I'd probably name in my like certainly my top five.
Right. Right. Wicked.
And it's like Ninja Tune as well, I guess, like similar. I mean, again, I've kind of they're not quite. I'm not. They kind of went a bit too electronic for me, but they seem to be going back round again as well. But they've got the people like Bicep
Yeah. I mean,
and
they've got a huge roster now, Ninja Tune.
oh god, it's insane.
And
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
covering
yeah. But
loads of different.
they've kept their finger on the pulse, which is fantastic. Like they've just had a new signing as a house producer called Mochak. He's
Oh
gone
yeah,
now. He's
yeah, yeah.
massive.
He did a
Yeah,
Groove
he's just
Armada
brilliant.
remix, didn't he?
Yeah, sorry.
He did a Groove Armada remix, I think. Is
I
that
believe so, but
is
now
that the right one?
he's signed to
Right.
Ninja,
Oh, okay. I did.
and then obviously the Bicep guys, as you said. But then they've got Roots with Cold Cut and Roots
Yeah.
Maneuver, and like yeah, these labels have got enough respect for.
Okay, and so this is more of a modern one with the sort of newfound technology of stems and AI technology and taking bits out of songs and AI creating songs without musicians and stuff like that. What's your thoughts on it, and do you think it will change much in the industry initially?
Uh, there's no, it's really hard to tell, isn't it? Like we're still at the early stages of it, I think. But then is it going to go the way of how like DJing seems to have, like with music production? Like DJing seems like I don't know, people with little or no talent us getting the spotlight. But then I don't know. I think that's like at the moment that's in every aspect, not just music or DJing. It seems like a lot of people it's just there for the spotlight, and if you've got a good management team, then you don't need talent. Um, But saying that, longevity, you do. And I'm a firm believer in that. I'm like, if you really want to be in something, and if you really want to be remembered by something, you've got to be like pretty good at it,
Right.
whatever that be. And I think AI is kind of like, will AI ever replace creativity? I don't think so. I think it'll be a tool that people can use. But I think music is a very human thing. I think art is a very human thing, and you can't take the humanity out of that.
Yeah,
Um,
the bit that stands out for me was there was early doors. There was lots of um, AI produced art that had clearly taken its style from like comics of, you know, a certain like artist in comic. And I just think that, let's say for instance, someone says, right, go and make me a Mr. Doris track, and then AI would listen to your entire output and take that and be able to do. I think they did it with like Drake and Ed Sheeran. They made those songs by those artists with AI, and it sounded pretty close, you know. And I think that's the bit. I think you're right. We're still very early in it, but I do think that it will. I think there's been a few artists that have stood up against it because of the copyright issue. You know, so if I say, right, you don't need to book Mr. Doris, I can get you an AI Mr. Doris DJ set for like a tenth of the price. It would go and listen
Yeah.
to every set you've ever done online and get the gist of it, and it probably wouldn't be the same, but for the average person it would be close, you know.
Yeah, but then again, where's the humanity? I don't think like this. It's. I think you could, you, people attend events, listen to music, look at art, watch films, whatever. They do that. I think because there's some sort of humanity there. Like there's like the connection, whether that be with the person you're watching the film next to, or at the live event, or with the band or the artist themselves. Like
Right.
I just don't think that's replaceable.
Okay.
I think I think there'll be elements where it will help. I think there'll be elements where it won't really help, but and where it can, as I said before, be used as a tool. But will it replace? Maybe for a small amount of time until people realize like what they're. What am I missing here? Fucking humanity from it, you know? Like who wants to go up? Like it's a fact. Like there's quite a few years back they were doing holograms of
Yeah.
like artists. No one's going to go like, okay, it's all right for like a not like a just a
A gimmick.
almost a gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But no one's gonna book a hologram to do a fucking European tour. You know what I mean? There's only so much these things can go. They can be a fad, which and might affect like business for us humans for a little while, but in the long term, I'm not sure. I'd hope that humanity prevails.
Yeah. Okay. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it, if your grandchildren show this video once we
Yeah,
found
no,
out which way it goes.
been robots serving them food.
Okay, right. So it's been good. So let's just before we go, what have you got forthcoming? Whether it's nights you're curating, DJ sets, or output musically, what have you got forthcoming that people can listen to, or where can they hear you?
Well, it's a bit. That's a long. I've got lots on. I'm currently based in London. I've my heart and my home is Ibiza, but I'm currently based in London with my family. I'm here because I'm actually in one of the rooms. This is curating a venue called the Gypsy Queen. It's in Kentish Town. You were actually in the pool room here. It's a secret room.
Right.
I'm booking artists and acts and bands and doing all sorts here. It's been a great venture. Not easy nowadays. But yes, I'm doing this in London for the moment. I'm back and forth from Ibiza, and then yeah, I mean you just have to go on my socials really to see where I am DJ wise. I'm all over the shop. Um, I'm back to Ibiza in a couple of weeks. Then I'm playing Edinburgh and Glasgow at the end of the month. You can catch me in London quite often. And then yeah, when it comes to music, we've got coming up. We've got another 45 coming up on Dinked this time with Nicodemus.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a collab between Turntables on the Hudson, Wonder Wheel, and Dinked. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. We're actually doing a release party here in April. We've got that coming up. and then I've got a house banger that you're involved in, a Latin house banger out on Good Custard. The boys up in Manchester, really great little label that I've been following, and they're really, I don't know, they're in it for the right reasons, the
Okay.
guys there. So I'm really happy to be doing something with them. We've got something with Defunk. I can't really say too much about it, but it's going to be it's on Sonar Collective.
Oh wow,
Looking to come
nice.
out. Yeah, Jazzanova's label. It's actually a remix of a Dixon track.
Oh,
So pretty
okay.
big, yeah, pretty big, and it's using the vocal of Capital A. So yeah, fantastic rapper from the States. And then my most thing that the biggest thing that I'm actually proud of and looking forward to seeing the light of day is I've been working on my album for the last just over a year now. Well, yeah, just over a year, and it's been phenomenal. Yeah, really, really good. The best thing I've ever done, other than be a father. Uh, Very different. Uh, but yeah, no, I've been, and then with the album, I've been just ranging from everything from jazz, funk, all original to house and like hip hop in there. I've got 16 vocalists, musicians, all on board. It's all been recorded live in the same studio on Ibiza. Everything's been recorded there. Got Thievery Corporation's lead singer Natalia involved.
Right,
Natalia
nice.
Clavier, yeah, she's involved. I've got yeah, 6 different languages in there already. So yeah, lots on the boil.
Wicked. All right. Well, look, so thanks for the chat. We'll get this up on the socials and tag
Pleasure, Aldo.
etc. Nice one,
Thank you,
fella.
sir.
I'll speak to you
Nice
soon.
one, man.